May we humbly bow down to all graces of all Buddhas, Maha-Buddhas, Pacceka Buddhas, Maha-Pacceka Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Maha-Bodhisattvas, all the Arahants, the fully enlightened ones, the Maha-Arahants, the grace of Luang Por Posi Surya Khemarato, all the Buddha seeds, all the embodiments of the great Buddhas, the Maha-Buddhas, and all the Maha-Bodhisattvas. The grace of fathers and mothers of all lifetimes, please hold the space for all of us. May we humbly declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within the worldly habits and the habits to dwell within the states of mind and Dharma attainments or spiritual attainments. May we declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and shapes, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. May we declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within all mental elements and sensual pleasures, within the enjoyments, happiness, blissful states, subtle states of mind, gross states of mind, feelings, emotions, thoughts, recalls, memories. May we declare removal and cancellations of all deluded desires and expectations within all types of relationships to fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, friends and relatives, ancestors, enemies, all the karmic debtors, societies, nations, global relationships. May we humbly declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within ideas, attitudes, lifestyles, living the life, the places we live in, belief, disbeliefs, belief values, traditions, customs. May we declare removal and cancellations of all vengeance, revenges, all the harbor thoughts to get back to someone, jealousy, comparison, looking, seeing and knowing with all the overlaying of desires, delusions, delusive attachments. May we declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within all matters and within all the spiritual attainments of mindfulness, concentrations, contemplations, meditative absorptions, meditative powers, special insights, supernatural powers, authoritative powers. May we declare removal and cancellation of all types of black magics, curses, prayers, wishes, for anything whatsoever. May we all cancel all types of promises, obligations, commitments towards anyone and anything. May we all cancel all the black magic and all the spells over someone's mind. And may we humbly ask for forgiveness and declare removal and cancellation of all deluded fixation to opinions and meanings. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all opinions and meanings we have used in the way without self-purification, causing all types of clashes towards anyone's opinions and meanings given to anything whatsoever. All the rejections towards the words of all graces of the Buddhas, the Arahants, Mahabodhisattvas. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the karma of chasing anyone away from their homeland, chasing all those with great blessed fortunes to face difficulties, the karma of turning away from the words of the great perfections, the Mahaparami. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all cases of hurting and harming towards anyone and anything. Ignoring the words of the graces at any time in our past life. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all cases of karma of hurting and harming, killing anyone, chaining anyone, putting anyone in limited places, in prisons, in jails, or causing anyone to verbally, mentally, and physically to be resentful in whatever ways. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all cases of karma, of turning away from the grace's words regarding not attached to the non-attachment itself. Instead, grasping for non-attachment and using methods and ways to grasp it. Creating paths, ways for enlightenment, for liberation of suffering, which doesn't exist. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all cases of karma, all the mistakes we have done towards the graces and among one another. May all cases be forgiven from now on and forever. Ahosi, Ahosi, Ahosi. So let's open widely, beyond opening. Use the reminders. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with attachment or non-attachment. Not attached to the non-attachment itself. Everything is from not grasping for the non-grasping itself. Not relating to the non-relation itself. Everything is from not involving towards the non-involvement itself. Scatter this essence throughout all directions, far and wide. This will create no traces of any minds, of any grasping or non-grasping. Therefore, it cleanses the habits to dwell within any states of mind, which is habits to rely on something, habits to maintain any state of mind, whether it's gross, subtle, or neutral. And with the power of the infinite force, this power will dissolve all the layers of crystallization of all types of grasping or the attempt to not grasping, which is the karmic attachment. Which is the delusive attachment to grasp or not grasping, which is itself creating realms of existence, itself karma. A delusive attachment to karmic dimensions. Therefore, if the opening is beyond the opening, with the true essence, with the infinite force of the great compassion that is constant, that is opening at all times. This channel of giving is opening at all times. Then all these layers of karmic dimensions and delusive attachment to karmic dimensions will be dissolved. The weight of the mind that tries to rely on something, that tries to hold on to something, or trying to grasp or not grasping something, will be purified. Therefore, the lightness of the mind happens at the moment of the infinite force that is given. And this lightness is not fixated to itself, as we always use the reminders. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with lightness or heaviness. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with darkness or lightness. Then brighten out beyond the brightness in all directions, infinitely, limitlessly. no traces of karmic dimensions, as though the layers and layers of karmic dimensions or the grasping mind or samsara's mind is cleansed and dissolved, constantly opening through the channel of giving of the great compassion. The infinite force will purify and help unwind, release all types of minds that try to rely on anything, or grasping for anything, or try to not grasp for anything. So open further and further. The reminders are needed to be used more often to support the mind to not fall into its dwellings towards any states, as it's going to begin something. Use the reminders. Might to might itself. Everything is from disengagement itself. Everything is from not relating to the non-relation itself. Let the infinite force scatter in all directions, without target, without any particular objects, places, unless places, images are there, and scatter further from those particular objects and images or places. At the moment of this assumed infinite force of the great compassion that is scattered in all directions in the samsara, all types of preoccupied minds will be loosened automatically. That means the layers or density of the minds that try to hold on to something will be released from its grip. And opening, letting the density loosen up. That means it dissolving from its delusive attachment to anything, that is happening at that moment, at this moment. Which is itself the karmic dimensions. Its weight will be lost. So the infinite force that is assumed by this vessel has its power to support all types of preoccupied minds, all types of grasping and attempting to grasp, to not grasp. In the gross level, subtle level, or neutral level. The infinite force has its power to dissolve all types of power of desires, delusive attachments, and delusions. Which is in the samsara's mind. So this, in return, it cleanses these vessels as well. The mind and all levels of the minds of this vessel. Without discrimination. So the layers of the delusive attachments to karmic dimensions will be faded. More and more faded as the infinite force is being diligently assumed up at any time. So let's all together continue help unwind for all types of grasping minds and the attempts to not grasping. Release all types of karmic dimensions and its delusive attachment, which is itself karmic difficulties.